Welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified naturopath and integrative health practitioner Dr. Stephen Cabral shares how he was diagnosed at the age of 17 with a life-altering illness and given no hope for recovery. It was only after studying and traveling all over the world did he discover how to combine ancient Ayurvedic healing practices with state-of-the-art naturopathic and functional medicine to fully rebalance the body and re-energize it with life. It's time to discover how to get well, lose weight, and finally feel alive again. And now, here's your host, Dr. Stephen Cabral.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back. Great to be here with you. Brand new week here on the Cabral Concept. Love being able to start each week fresh. That means every single Monday is a new opportunity at a new week. No matter what happened last weekend or last week, the good news is this: we do start with a clean slate. Yes, we bring our past along with us, but that doesn't necessarily have to stop us from moving forward into who we want to be in the future, and that begins today. So last week, I shared with you one superpower that we all have, but very few of us take advantage of that. So essentially what I talked about was that we all have big hopes, we all have big dreams. The only people that don't, they really have been knocked down by life. And I get it, and I've been there myself. But the problem with that is that then you don't have as much to look forward to. And when you don't have as much to look forward to, you start to become more depressed. What I want you to do is set a bigger, deeper, brighter vision for yourself for the future. And I know that you can do that. Start with one thing, start with one goal. It doesn't even have to be a huge dream of yours. Start with something that if you were to accomplish that, life would be that much better. That's where I want you to start. Tune back in if you didn't get to that show. That was episode 2040. I will link that up here today at episode 2047. So what we want to talk about here right now is that in order to be able to accomplish your big dreams, I've honestly only see one thing work, that one superpower for all people, meaning like it doesn't matter your talent, it doesn't matter your, innate gifts, whatever those things are. It honestly does not matter because there's a great equalizer, and that great equalizer is simply time, persistence, perseverance, and repetition. That's really it. So I'm guaranteeing you that people that aren't very musically inclined can learn how to play an instrument. It's just going to take maybe a little bit more time, right? That might be someone like me. I can't sing a tune at all right now. But would I one day be able to learn to sing, even though that's not a God-given talent of mine? The answer is 100% yes. Now, that's not a dream of mine. It's not a goal of mine, but you can make it happen if you wanted to. Now, am I going to sing like the greatest opera singer at anyone in the world? Of course not. Like, that is not my absolute best. However, I could excel at it if I really put in the time, and the same is for you. That's the truth. So now what we want to do is if we can intersect something that you love and you're passionate about, something that you may have a little bit of skill in or could learn that skill because you're passionate about it. Now, all we need is the time and the reps, right? That's why I love that I started my journey into this field, in the fitness-based field, because I realized you want to change your body, right? Okay, that's what you want to do? Great. All it's going to take is reps. Reps over time. No one workout is going to get you there. That's the truth. But also, missing those workouts is going to make the journey even longer. So what I want you to do today is use that one superpower, which is simply taking back hours of your day. Hopefully you listen to my podcast on the 6 missing hours of everybody's day. If you didn't, I'll link that one up here today as well. StephenCabral.com/2047 must listen to shows, because believe it or not, we have more time in our day than we think that we do. About 3 hours before work, about 3 hours after work, or a couple hours before work, 3-4 hours after work. Now, I know it's not all your time, family, partner, all different obligations you may have, but you'll be able to take some of that back. And the easiest way to do that is not at night. I'm telling you right now, if you live with someone else, it's not as easy to take back some alone time at night because, rightly so, they want to see you as well. Your family wants to see you. Your partner wants to see you. So here's what we want to do. We need to take back the hours that they're not awake yet. And the best way to do that, the best way to get you a little bit of you time is first thing in the morning. I spoke about that last week. Again, definitely tune into that show, episode 2040. We're not going to go over that today. Hopefully, I impressed upon you the fact that that is the way to get more done. is when you don't have any other distractions. Makes sense, right? No other distractions, you get things done. People like to sometimes do that when everybody goes to bed at night. Not the best time to do for your health, okay? So now what do? Okay, we're going to rise more with the sun. We're going to naturally wake up with the sun, and then we're going to go to bed a little bit earlier. But we're going to need to talk about that. Again, I've talked about that on previous shows. But here's the thing. You don't need to wake up at 4 a.m. You honestly don't. Like, I've tried waking up at 4 a.m. I've committed to it for over a month. Not for me. Not great for my nervous system. Doesn't work. Also, don't have a need to, nor do I want to, because the earliest I could ever go to bed when I was trying to wake up at 4 a.m. was 9 p.m. So no matter what, the max amount of sleep I was going to get was 7 hours. I like to get 7.5 to 8 hours. I'm active. I've got an active job. I like to work out 5 days a week. I need a little bit more recovery time. 4 a.m. was just my body is just starting to produce those thyroid hormones to a greater degree. Cortisol is not even naturally produced as high of a level until around 5:30, 6 a.m. So I'm not an advocate necessarily health-wise of getting up at 4 a.m. I like 5 a.m. or after. But again, I'm not against 4 a.m. if you're going to bed at 8 p.m., right? I mean, or 8:30 at the latest. So what we have to think about is this. What works for you? And the thing is, you just need to pick a time. So if you live by yourself and you just have to leave your door at 8 a.m. to get to work, okay, well then you really don't need to get up much before 7 a.m. or let's say 8 a.m. So you don't have to get up much before 6:30 a.m. so that you can get an hour in from 6:30 to 7:30 for you before you shower, get ready for work, leave the house at 8 a.m. So remember, like, it doesn't have to be 5:30 that I might chat about today. You need to get up just about an hour and a half before you need to leave the house. Take a half hour for yourself to get ready. Maybe it only takes you 15 minutes. That's fantastic. Good. Shouldn't take you more than a half hour, but you need to look at other demands on your time. For me, what I look at it is not when I have to head to work, it's when the rest of my family wakes up. So I know that my family wakes up between 6:30 and 7 a.m. My daughters, during the summertime, they might sleep till 7. A little after, maybe 7:15, 7:30 on a good day. Depends on what time they went to bed as well. But during the school year, they have to get out the door typically around 7:45-ish. So we do try to get them up around 7 o'clock. I know for certain activities, they've had to get up at 6:45. So and again, your kids might have to get up earlier depending on the commute to school. So again, that's what matters. So I just know for me, it's this. It's like I need to be ready for my girls, for my family by 7 a.m. So what do? Well, I know that I need a half hour just for prep for the day, to get ready, shower, all of those different things, right? Shave, shower, get ready for the day. So what I do is I say, well, I need 60 minutes for myself. So I just work backwards. Okay. So 6:30 to 7 would be the shower prep time. Well, then what time do I need to, if at 6:30, I need to do those things? 5:30. Now, I do mine a bit in reverse. I like to shower, get ready, then I sit down and I put in some work. So I actually go wake up at 5:30. Okay. I'm done by 6 to 7, put in work. That's what I do. Now, when I say put in work, what do I mean? No, do I have to work on all the different things for my work? No, it could be anything based on my goal, okay? If I'm trying to learn something new, that's 6 to 7 a.m. in the morning because I can read on it, right? I talked about all that last week, so I'm not going to go about that. If I'm trying to work on anything to do with my goal, I get a solid hour. A solid hour? I mean, 30 hours for 30 hours a month. That's pretty solid, right? 360 hours in a year on one thing. Believe me, you're going to move forward. But not only that, it's going to set the tone for your day. Trust me, whatever your goal is, it's going to be on your mind now for the rest of the day because you just committed 60 minutes every morning to it. So what does that mean? Well, if it's a body transformation goal and you did a workout first thing in the morning and then you were able to 30-minute workout, 30-minute meal prep, okay, you've got your breakfast, lunch, and dinner ready for the day if you're out for the whole day. Easy, right? It's done. Your mind's on it. If it's you're studying for a certification, if you're studying for a new whatever it might be for work, well, what are you doing? Well, what you're doing is, you're putting that 1 hour in the morning, educating yourself, taking notes, whatever it might be. But you might even sneak out then for 15 minutes at lunch to do a little bit more because you're so passionate, it's on your mind, you're dedicated, and maybe even a little bit before bed. But we won't talk about that right now. So what I'm saying to you is this. All you need to do is first just pick a time. Pick a time 1 hour before the rest of the day takes you, right? That's how I look at it. At 7 a.m., it's no longer my day. It's my daughter's day, particularly in the morning. My wife doesn't need me for anything in the morning. She's getting ready. The kid's ready. She's doing all of those things. Of course, we're communicating, we're talking, but I want to be present for my girls. So that's what I do. Okay. So that is done. That's the first part of the day. Then I'm commuting to work. I don't have a long commute, which is good for me. And I get right to work. It's work time. Now I get a little time at lunch for myself. No doubt about it. I've talked about that in the podcast. That's one of my anchors. Reset, turn on the parasympathetic, relax and breathe, and then back into the rest of the day. Okay, then it's a workout, then it's home, then it's dinner, family time, putting my girls to bed, and then my wife and I have a couple hours from like 8 to 10, 7:45 to 9:45. That's our time to relax. Okay. So that's basically my day in a nutshell. It's been like that for some time. It works really well for me, but the rest of the day is not really my day. Yes, I will read in bed and at night, maybe before bed, like instead of watching some type of show, if there's no show that we're into, then I read in bed as well. And I'm reading during lunch, and I have a day. I mean, my work, I can pretty much consolidate to how I want. So there's definitely a lot of research and reading going on in my day, but you may not be able to do that. So if I look at my day, which is probably a lot like yours in some fashion or another, maybe you're going out to dinner more, you don't have kids, whatever it might be, then great. So here's the thing. Then where's your time? Well, you don't have any time. So that's why the first hour in the morning has to be your hour. It's just the way that it has to be if you're very serious about having to accomplish a goal. If you don't accomplish that goal in the next year, 2 years, whatever it might be, and you look back and you didn't accomplish it, will you feel like those couple years has been kind of wasting your potential? And if the answer is yes, good. Stay focused on the goal. You need that why to drive you through. Now all we need to do is set it up. Okay, what time do you need to wake up? Let's just say for you it's 6 a.m. Maybe that's like really early for you. Great. It's 6 a.m. because you want a full 90 minutes, not even 60 minutes. So you have now until 7:30, then you get ready for work. You leave at 8 a.m. because you need to be there at 8:30 or whatever it might be. Okay, so you're good to go. You know your wake up is 6 a.m. Now all we need to do is work backwards. That's it. So if you want 8 hours of sleep, you need to go to bed at 10, right? You need to go to bed at 10 p.m., 10:30 at the very latest. Okay, so now you know that. Well, what if you're going to bed at midnight right now, right? You're going to bed at midnight and you're waking up at 7. Well, here's what we need to do. We can't just say you're going to go to bed at 10 p.m. now. Like your body is just not going, it's going to revolt and say, no way, we're used to doing this, this, and this. It has to be a gradual work back, okay? But it's very important because you still have to wake up the 7.5 hours, 7 hours, whatever you're used to getting that next morning, okay? So here's what we do. Your wake up, you want to be 6 a.m., but you're currently waking up, let's just say at 7. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to wake up every single morning at 6:45. That's it, just 15 minutes. But we're also going to go to bed instead of at midnight at 11:45. That's what we're going to do, all right? So we're going to do that for 1 week. It's only a 15-minute difference. Get in bed, instead of going to bed at midnight, get in bed at 11:45. We're going to help you with that in just a moment. The next week, here's what we're going to do. 15 minutes more. You're now going to wake up at 6:30, and you're going to go to bed at 11:30. What are we looking at? 7 hours of sleep. That's it. But you're only getting 7 hours before, okay? We're going to show you how it's actually going to amount to more sleep, all right? And plus, the more hours before midnight, the more rejuvenating. No doubt about it. If you track your sleep, everybody tracks their sleep, pretty much knows this. Okay, so week number 3, you're getting up now at 6:15, and you're going to bed at 11:15. All right, so we've worked back 45 minutes. We're just doing it 15 minutes a week, very gradual. That's it. Okay, next week, what do? We're up at 6 a.m., going to bed at 11 p.m. Still the same 7 hours sleep that you've been getting, but now we have our full hour in the morning. Absolutely fantastic. Doing great, right? So now we've got that 6 to 7. Again, I said maybe in the beginning you were at 7:30. You get the gist. You're working back 15 minutes per week. Now, we're going to work back your sleep another 15 minutes each week, but keep your actual wake time still at 6 a.m. So keep your wake at 6 a.m. We're going to now move back to 10:45 and then the following week at 10:30. That's done over 5 weeks' time or 6 weeks' time. The good news about this is you're going to get more sleep. You're going to be more rejuvenated. You're going to be more energized. And at 6 a.m., you're going to be ready to go with 7.5 hours of sleep. Now, if you need more, of course you need more, but you're only getting 7 before. So let's be realistic, right? You can catch up a little bit on the weekends if you need to. Again, I talked about that. If you want to keep it going, even on the weekend days, that's up to you. So what I want to share with you is this. What I personally do, again, this is exactly what I did. I used to go to bed late. I said, I need to work it back. And I did that for work originally, but then I kept it. And so for me, I wake up at 5:30 a.m. because again, I want that 90 minutes, 30 minutes to prep for the day, 60 minutes to put in work on whatever it is that I'm passionate about, that I want to move forward in my life, because I know that 60 minutes will do it. And if you have a plan going into that morning, you actually get so much done. I mean, you'll be shocked. The first week, you won't even know what to do with yourself. You'll be sitting there like, okay, what am I supposed to do? Read a book? But you just do it. You just do it, you begin to get in the habit, and like anything, you get better at it. So what I do is I go to bed at 10 p.m. That's my absolute cutoff, okay? Do I make it 30 out of 30 days? No, but I make it 29, 28 out of 30 days in a month, no doubt about it. So what I actually try to do is I actually tried to start getting ready at 9:20, 9:30 at night for bed. My wife and I chat a little bit more. I try to be in bed at 9:45 so that I'm asleep by 10 p.m. I fall asleep within 10 minutes. I used to be a complete insomniac. It would take me 2 to 3 hours to fall asleep. And then some nights I just would never fall asleep. And that happened until I was about 27 years old. So it was pretty awful. But again, there are ways that you fix this. And keeping a sleep schedule is one of those main ways. So for me, 10 p.m. at the latest till 5:30 a.m. That's 7.5 hours per night, sometimes 7 hours and 45 minutes. And then on the weekend, I actually get an hour more. So I'm getting more like 8.5 hours. That works great for me. It works really well. I've done this now for many years. I know my body, and all of my lab numbers are great. My deep sleep is at 90 minutes or more per night. My REM sleep is at over 2 hours per night. My HRV is good. I mean, I track everything. If I lost a little sleep or it's not as good, I go to bed earlier that night at like 9:30 p.m. So that's what I try to do. I just find it realistic for me, and also being able to hang out with my wife at night. I can't get to bed before 9:30, and that's okay. Like that's not a big deal. That's a compromise that we all have to make, and it works great. So I don't have an issue with that. So all I'm asking you for is this: I need you to get to bed 15 minutes earlier at night. Wake up 15 minutes in the morning. So don't think about it even like, oh, I need to wake up at 5:30 a.m. No, you need to wake up earlier, no doubt about it. You need an hour to yourself, but you only need to work that back by 15 minutes a week, and you can take your time. If you need to take 2 weeks to get to stay at that same 15 minutes and then move, that's okay. Remember, we're looking at life as a journey. You're going to be moving forward. Even if it took you 3 months to do this, you'll be a new human being if you take back 5 hours a week to yourself, which is not selfish, by the way. You're working on you to be better for everyone else. Just no doubt about that. Now, sleep schedule is number one. You try to keep this going for 7 days a week if you can. I understand younger, going out, 12, midnight, 1 p.m., whatever it is. I'll tell you, I was a complete insomniac till I stopped doing that. I would go out on Friday night and Saturday night, or even just one of those, and it would take me 2-3 days to reset that sleep schedule. And it just didn't work. I mean, that was the bottom line. So now if I'm out with friends, the latest I go out is 11 o'clock, and that's it. Yes, that, there are sacrifices, but I feel like if I'm hanging out with people from 8 to 11, like I'm good with that. I'm pretty good. I mean, I feel good about that. I'm enjoying myself, whatever it might be. It might be earlier, and I'm happy to do that. But there's the sacrifice the next day, and I don't want to sacrifice my overall health and energy and well-being for throwing off my sleep. Okay, there are always, again, trust me, there are always extenuating circumstances. I'll travel the West Coast. I go to bed at, let's say 9:30, 10 p.m. West Coast, and it's midnight, 1 a.m. my time. So, I mean, these things do happen every once in a while. But here's what I do. This helps with jet lag. This helps get to bed earlier. You want to try something like the Sleep Help Protocol. I can't even link this up. It's crazy, but I can't link up any nutritional supplements on podcasts. If you go to stevencabral.com/sleep, you will see the products that I recommend. You only have to use these really for like a month or two until you get back into your sleep pattern. And one more product I would add to that is Adrenal Soothe, which helps calm those cortisol levels, especially if they're higher at night. So I don't have too much time to get into that right now. I'll just share with you, if you use those 4 unique products, they help with more serotonin, more calming neurotransmitters. Magnesium helps with turning off the sympathetic nervous system. Liquid melatonin helps you to produce melatonin now at a more normal time. It doesn't make you groggy in the morning. And Adrenal Soothe helps lower the cortisol levels. So it basically helps with all 4 aspects of sleep. There's actually 3 more that I won't even get into today, but it works. And again, it's just one more thing. You don't need to use them, but if you can't fall asleep and you you need your sleep, well, then you might as well use it for a couple months, get yourself into a sleep pattern, and then begin to wean off those. You can just go to stevencabral.com/sleep, and that will link you over to those particular products, and then just search for Adrenal Soothe as well. That's my recommendation. That's what I do, and I use them all the time to prevent jet lag and just switch between time zones, which I do quite often. So hopefully that was helpful. All the links today, except the supplement one, will be at stevencabral.com/2047. Thank you so much. And of course, if this was helpful, please do feel free to share it with anybody else you believe it could serve. Thank you so much for just tuning into the show. And before you go, I want to let you know about my all-time favorite offer going on right now over at Equalife. We ran this about a year ago, and we're doing it again this year. It will be the last time this year. And if you missed out on the Big 5 promotion going on about a month ago, you are not going to want to miss this. This is a fraction of the price, and it allows you to get 2 of our top at-home lab tests that's going to give you all of your vitamin levels, all your mineral levels, your heavy metals, your electrolytes, your stress, your mitochondrial levels. It looks at keto-based markers. It looks at gut function such as bacteria, candida overgrowth, and even mold markers. Plus, you're going to look at your overall digestion, methylation markers, and so much more. It is the perfect test that combines the candida, metabolic, and vitamins test with the minerals and metals test, but it's essentially half off. You save $300 this week while supplies last. Don't miss this. It's an amazing deal. It's my favorite way for people to get started if they're not able to do the Big 5. Head on over to stevencabral.com/starter-kit. That's stevencabral.com/starter-kit to save $299 right now and get free shipping. Let me know if there's any questions. Happy to help. Have an amazing day.